So one of the things that is a difficult thing for junior clergy like yourselves and myself is when you see a senior man of God, the one that you thought he's really making it, when he comes and he makes a pronouncement that is not in the Bible. Are you hearing me? It's contrary to Jesus. But because of his paraphernalia and because of his appearance of influence, he says something and you for once shift your ground and say, because Reverend Dr. so-and-so says it. I have refused to respect persons, no matter how high they are, when they contradict the truth that we have been taught.
The moment of truth, you just heard Brother Gbile. I'm going to put another video there of Adeboye, and you will see all the lies that he's telling his followers, because he's the owner of the camp. And he has to be telling them all these lies in order to keep them coming and in order to keep them coming. That's it. Because what they go there for, they can actually sit down in their home and study and gain better from the knowledge of God than what they are hearing from Adeboye. But because they build their status for a very long time, people don't see as unfit. Sorry. So it's we from the outside that can see them, that these people are unfit. They are not even meant to be on the pulpit. So I used Brother Gbile video because he is a pastor. Because when I talk, they say you don't even have members. You don't even know what it is to grow a church and all that. That's why I'm using his video. Otherwise, I don't have to. Please stay tuned till the end. Thank you.
And his servant went out and saw that they had been surrounded by the enemy. And the boy ran home and said, my master, what are we going to do? We are done for. And Elisha said, don't worry, my boy. Those who are with us are more than those who are with them. And the boy said, I can't see anybody, only you and I. And the Bible said Elisha prayed, God opened the eyes of this young man that he may see. He wasn't physically blind, but he was spiritually blind. And God opened his eyes, and then he saw horses and chariots of fire. So there's other eyes that can be opened. I said to God, you have to open my eyes. I want my eyes opened. I want to see what is in the spiritual world. And of course, in 2 Kings chapter 5, verse 20 to 27, you know the story. 2 Kings chapter 5, verse 20 to 27. The Bible tells us of when Gehazi ran after Naaman to go and collect money from him, the money that Elisha had refused. And when he came back, and Elisha asked him, where have you been? He said, I have not been anywhere. The man of God said, my eyes followed you. I saw everything that happened when the general turned in his chariot to receive you. I saw him giving you money. I saw him giving you clothes. I saw everything. I said, is that so? I too want to see. And it wasn't long after that I began to see.
My people, I need your attention now because he's going into some stories that he has no benefit to the members and it has nothing to do with the gospel. It's just all manipulations. That's why people are so empty.
The first thing I saw, we were going to workers' meeting. I've just joined the workers there. And I went to the toilet to ease myself. As I sat on the toilet seat, suddenly the door of the toilet became like a screen. And I saw on the screen the headquarters church. Service was going on. Everything was normal. And then at a stage, the door of the vestry opened, and the man who was going to preach, and the man who was going to interpret, came out of the vestry, where they had been praying, evidently, and they went to the altar, conducted the service, and there was a mighty outpouring of the power of God. And the vision disappeared.
I can tell you that vision was a lie. That's how Suleiman got his own idea from, to be telling lies that people appear in France toilet without visa, without anything. Stay tuned to the next slide.
And then I realized I was in the toilet. I've seen something. Soon as I got to the church, I went to my father in the Lord, excited. Daddy, I saw something today. I told him what I saw. And the old man put his two hands on his head and said, "Oh God." I was afraid. What's the trouble now? Then he called the pastors then, about 2 or 3 of them. Come. They all came. He told me to repeat what I said I saw. I repeated it. And the old man said, "Son, at the beginning of this church, that's what we used to do. Whoever is going to preach, whoever is going to interpret, will be in the vestry praying until it is time for them to come and preach. But we stopped years ago. God had shown me something that was missing in the church. Something they were doing ever before I became born again that they had stopped. God brought it back."
That vision was his own idea. But in order for him to implement it and for all his young pastors to key into it, he had to tell them that it was the vision that the Lord showed him. And it was something that the church was doing before, even before he got born again. That's how they roll. That's their lies. The way they've been telling us all these lies since.
I pray that in this convention of the Holy Spirit, revelations from heaven will become commonplace in your life. And then, in that 2 Kings chapter 6, from verse 8 to 12, 2 Kings 6 from verse 8 to 12, I read the story that led to the soldiers surrounding Elisha. That the king of Syria was plotting against the king of Israel. And Elisha was warning the king of Israel, "Don't go in that direction, don't go in that direction." Until the king of Syria was troubled. And they called a meeting. And said, "Who is the spy in my government? Who? Tell me." And one of his servants said, No. It's none of us. It is Elisha, the prophet. Everything that is happening in your bedroom, he knows it. Oh. So it is possible to know the unknown. It's possible to know what is hidden. I cry to God. Remember I told you at the beginning, I just said I don't want to be an ordinary Christian. I don't want to be one who is just going to church. I want to be above the ordinary. It was my own desire. Daddy, I want to be able to know what can only be known by your Spirit. And then I read Acts chapter 5, verse 1 to 11. Acts 5, verse 1 to 11. Forgive me, I don't have as much time as I would have loved to explain some of these things to you, why I want to see and why I want to know. But in Acts chapter 5, verse 1 to 11, Ananias and Sapphira sold a property. They brought half of the money to the church and told Peter, this is all the money. And Peter said, no, that's not true. You have kept part of the money. How did they know? Won't it be beautiful if some people are plotting against you, and while they are yet meeting, you already know? Would that not be beautiful? If the enemy is planning to kidnap you or to waylay you, and you and you already know that they are expecting you to come from the left, so you go by the right. I said, Lord, I want to begin to know. I too want to begin to know whatever you've done for all these people before. You must do it for me. And then, by His grace, I began to know. And I'll just give you one little example. I won't give you big ones. When you begin to know, you will know the big ones yourself. There were two of my daughters, very good friends. I like both of them because their commitment to Christ was solid. And so one day, the two of them came to me. I think we had a program and we met. Daddy, you're welcome. And then I said to them, I hope you are not quarreling. Daddy, we won't quarrel. We are good friends. I said, but you are quarreling. No, we are not. I said, you are quarreling over food. Because they were living together. And one said, yes. Each time I cook, she will say I didn't cook well. The other one said, yes. Each time she cooks, she will burn half of the food. I said, but you told me you are not quarreling. He said, how did you know? Because God showed me. He showed me what was happening. And he said, you better correct your daughters. That's a small one.
God showed him that the two ladies were fighting in their house over food. But the same God didn't tell Adeboye the death of his son. The same God didn't tell Adeboye how to solve the problem of Nigeria. Nor how to solve the problem of people in the church. People are dying anyhow on a daily basis. When we talk, they will say we are mocking Adeboye. How could you figure all this nonsense out? It's so
very minor. I can tell you a bigger one. I mean, I was just minding my own business, if you want to use that word. When God spoke to me and says, son, your friend is in London. Unless you reach him before Monday, he will die. So of course I got on the plane. By the time I knocked at his door, he couldn't believe. And he was dying. Thank God it's more than 20 years now, and he's still alive today.
That's also a lie. The story I knew about the man that died in London, a very wealthy man, a redeemed man that actually helped him a lot. He was sick and they flew him to England. So Adeboye went there and the guy still died. He's lying. He's lying. Ask any redeem member in the 90s. Ask them. They will tell you this story. Adeboye is a liar. And I will see you on my next video. Bye for now.